Hello. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Would you like to play a game?
Yes, I would actually. It would be amazing.
How are you doing?
I'm fine. I'm ridiculously full. I'm probably heading into some kind of food coma. But I'm hoping that it kicks in roughly an hour or so, so we at least get past talking.
Halfway through.
We made some kind of, I think, burritos. I'm not sure what the difference is. But
Burritos. You sure food coma is the first thing that's going to happen after burritos?
Mm.
yeah, it's gonna get there. But I'm fine. How are you guys?
Doing all right.
Doing all right, John.
Playing some cities.
Welcome to Dreamcoiltv.
Thank you.
We have people waiting on you, actually, surprisingly, even though your nickname totally
What,
moved.
really? Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yep.
What's your twitch.com/DreamCoiltV, I guess?
Yep.
Yep.
Correct.
Dreamcoil. Where'd you get Dreamcoil from?
Well, I ripped it off from Dota.
Oh, that's nice.
I was like, you know what? That sounds like a really good name. So let's just do Dreamcoil and just add a TV on there for copyright purposes. Done.
Sorry, my girlfriend was speaking to me. I missed the last part.
It's okay. I basically...
No, I'm not used to having headphones in, so it's a bit confusing when she's trying to talk to me and I just can't hear anything. But I managed to find one with a microphone, which is nice. I lost it in the gaming days.
Ah.
Oh.
Yeah, people don't realize it's like 8:45 p.m. for him.
Yeah.
He's at home. He's over.
Yeah, it's a
what
Friday
time is it
night.
for you?
Yep.
Is it morning?
No. For us, it's like 2:45 p.m. for us.
Mhm.
The afternoon.
That's a very sensible time.
Yeah, no, I like it.
This is a Friday night. It's the best time to speak with people overseas, I guess. All right, so when are we going live, by the way?
We're already live.
We're already live.
Oh, we are live?
We've been live. We were live
I didn't
45 minutes
figure that
ago.
out.
I said 8 p.m. for you.
Oh, no, you said 9.
No, I said 8.
I think.
Check your email, bro.
Oh, no, wait, it says 9. I was so short. That was what was in my calendar.
Look at the email right now. How does Friday the 21st at 8 p.m. CEST 2 p.m.
Well made myself. I was like, oh,
I
the
got
21st.
time.
Oh, I just read 21 there. Holy shit. Sorry for
Oh,
being
it's
so late.
It's
I
okay.
didn't even realize. I was like, oh, we're going to go live in 15-ish minutes. It's going to be nice. I'm in good time.
No, it's fine.
I am really sorry.
That's okay.
We were thinking like maybe had a couple beers, then like a couple beers became like blackout level, and like
No. I was eating dinner in good time and just relaxing and figuring that we'd be in good time. I am very sorry if anyone waited for me. Sorry, that was a really douche move.
no, you didn't do it on purpose. It's fine. You did it on purpose. Like, oh, I was over on Geek Domo. You know, sorry, thing that different.
No, just cooking. Having a slow Friday night. I was wondering why I'd book you in at 9. That didn't make any sense to me. Because I figured that was way too late for dinner anyways.
No, it's okay. It's not a big deal. We just went online and just started playing the game and messed around a little bit.
Right, okay, I by the way, I opened your stream and I'm looking at a guy with a beard. Who's on camera?
That's not me. That's Flawless.
Greetings.
Oh, hello. All right,
Welcome.
so let's get to it then, I suppose.
Right. No problem. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, in case you don't know who he is, I was going to make sure I was pronouncing your last name right before stream, but can't do it now. So, this is John RIckne, correct?
Yeah, that's good.
Perfect.
Yes.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
I mean, it's an old Swedish last name, so I don't think it's easy to pronounce anywhere outside here.
Well, then, one of them close enough, I suppose, because people butcher my name. Darieth, Darieth, Darieth.
How do you pronounce it?
Darieth, yeah.
No. Darieth, that makes sense.
But I made it up, so I mean, I can't blame anyone for the pronunciation. But he's a community manager for Paradox Interactive, and he handles basically all their third-party games, and this is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
So we're gonna want to talk about like what he does, some of the PR stuff, and any questions about the game that he can answer. He's not a developer, so obviously some of the questions might be out of sight. I would assume your scope. But
yeah, unfortunately, I mean, I have a lot of contact with the developers, and I've been on the project since we announced it, which is quite some time soon. I mean, of course, I get to know the project, but I don't think that I can answer any any questions that would be hitherto unknown for the community.
Right.
Since I mean, I'm not that technical,
Well,
but I can do my best. So
Yeah.
shoot if you have anything.
Well, that actually leads me into one question, because I was going to ask you, you know, since it's a community, so much community focus, and as a community manager, you know, how do you communicate with the devs? Since you don't have a headset with a mic, I'm guessing it's not through Skype.
Or
It is
not
actually through Skype.
It is through Skype.
We just type.
Oh, yeah, work.
We most commonly have communication only with a few of the Colossal Order people, because they are they're very Finnish in the way that they're super work focused, which means that I usually go through Marina or Carolina that then speak to their team, because they don't want to kind of break their working mojo.
Right.
So they're driven.
Yeah, they are ridiculously driven. It's very nice to work with them, because they're just so keen on the projects. But yeah, we usually don't try to kind of get into the programmers and bother them, you know, speak to them when they're in the code zone.
How did you guys get, like, let's talk about community management. How did you kind of get into the field? Let's talk about you a little bit. Let people know you.
I used to work with esports, or work inside quotation marks. I did some casting for Heroes of Europe back in the day.
Oh, nice.
Which was really fun with one of the guys from. Do you remember the old Yogs Cast podcast?
Vaguely, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they had a hang around guy that I started casting with. That was really nice.
I know Zyori used to cast Heroes of Newerth, and then he went on to Dota 2.
Did? Oh,
Yep.
right. Yeah.
And then he had an issue. He had an issue, a big one.
He had a fun one. But Zoro was super nice. He started casting roughly when I stopped. So I started working with DreamHack and did some live events. And then, I don't know, I think I applied for a streamer position at Paradox, but I didn't get it. So they were like, oh, we liked you, so let's go into community management instead. So I kind of got a jack of all trades position in the marketing department, which just led into community. So it kind of just happened. I never really did anything in this direction before.
Yeah, I used to do Dota 2 stuff. I used to run a show on esports, a talk show weekly. And that's how I kind of know a little bit about the Han and Zyori and all that good junk.
Yeah,
was,
Han was super fun. It was a great MOBA.
Yeah, I never played Han. I didn't get into Dota until Dota 2. But when I got into Dota 2, I went full balls to the wall, basically.
All right.
And this is a great game, too.
Oh, it is.
But that's pretty much the story, so there's nothing present. Now I've been doing this for 3 years, a bit more, which is amazing, because community management is the easiest and most entertaining job you can have. It's just talk to people and talk to people.
I mean, I could see it being, like, awesome, but sometimes, I guess, challenging, depending on the game and, I guess, the people that play it.
And the rage levels?
Yeah, well, I feel like Cities doesn't have that much of it, but, like...
Probably not.
I watched something like, say, for example, the game called Star Citizen, and man, they have some trouble. It's got to be tough for them. But how's the community for, like, Cities gone for you?
Yes, yeah. And you can say they suck on air if you'd like.
We'll just not edit it.
No, but they're lovely. I mean, it's an amazing community, not only because of the incredibly, just, I don't know, shockingly amazing modding scene, but also because it's just, I don't know, they're just really kind and nice people. Especially to be an internet community that can be, you know, very interesting to work with. So,
right.
I mean, it has its ups and downs, but we just have, like, I think we have 2 active trolls in the entire community.
It's not bad.
Which is kind of amazing for a game that sold, what, like 1.5 million copies now-ish?
Yep. Right. So, you know, speaking about mods, though, when you go looking for mods, man, you know, what kind of mods do you go after first? Like planes, trains, automobiles, buildings?
I don't know. I'm not much of an asset guy.
No.
I originally went for a lot of like small just props for parks until I realized that I actually had to bother making parks to utilize them. So then I just went into like gameplay functionality things, because I'm like I used to play a lot of Warcraft 3 custom maps, which got me just loving the idea of custom gameplay things and things that alter the original design. So I'm just looking for anything that adds an additional element or adds depth or just changes how things are played. So like the flight simulator, for example, was amazing.
Right.
Yeah, first-person mod's actually pretty amazing in this game. We were messing around with it earlier.
It's super nice to just walk around and watch your city. Like, that's my dream for modding, not that I can affect it that much, but would be that you have a lot of more gameplay-oriented modding. So like, in the dream scenario, you could code the game so you can play a tower defense, for example, in City Skylines. You know, kind of
Right.
add actions and scripts to it. But that's not really possible as it stands. But that's where I would love to see the game go. So that
You and I have a lot in common, my friend.
nobody.
couldn't
I
pass
mean,
this
it
through.
kind of has the basic elements ish.
I was thinking about earlier we were talking about it. I'm like, imagine if in first person mode, and it's nighttime. You simulate some crime stuff going on. Maybe play the Batman.
Yeah.
You know, we've been
Batman.
speaking a lot about, was it SimCity 4 that had like their masked protection, the vigilante guy
Yeah.
around? Would be amazing to have someone like that, like a chirpy bat, but I don't think that's in the near future either. But
Were you guys surprised at how big cities became?
yes.
Not like in game, actually. I mean,
No, but yes. in every way, yes. I mean, we knew it was a good game. We loved it. It was really something we were proud of, but you can never really expect that kind of success, which we owe a lot to it. I mean, we owe it amazingly much to the community and the Twitch streamers, especially around launch. That just, I mean, it kind of blew up on YouTube and Twitch, which gave us a huge push.
Right.
So it was, you know, it's one of those games that I personally think just came in the right time. People really wanted something like this, and we were a good and solid game. So it went better than expected, but we're super happy about that.
Well,
It's
we definitely, you know, we bought the latest SimCity, and we're kind of disappointed with it.
kind of.
Yeah.
It's kind of.
I'm
It's
being
a nice
nice.
way. It's a nice way
Yeah,
to
so
say it.
I'm being diplomatic. So, and
But it has a lot of nice things too. I mean,
It
the new
does.
city is gorgeous. It has, I mean, I love the building modular thing where you can add things on the buildings. I mean, there's so many elements to that game that are really, really well made. And it's unfortunate because I loved old SimCities too, that they missed on some core factors that
Right.
we luckily utilized and kind of succeeded on, which turned the tide against them. Because I would have loved for that game to be good. It would have been amazing because they have such a huge and talented team and such an amazingly large budget and kind of scope compared to us.
I agree,
But
and that's
still-
why I think cities did well, because it has those elements that we're missing.
I was really excited about like multiplayer in SimCity, actually, to be quite honest, because I do like co-op gaming, but the cities were just too small, and there's so many small features that were missing from the game for me that I just did not enjoy. I didn't feel like I get my money's worth, but with cities, I very much do.
I'm really happy. That's why we priced it at $30 too, because I mean it was developed by 9 people, so you can't really go for a $60 title then, because there's still some things not missing, because it's, after all, it's worth the money in my opinion. But there's
Right.
still some things that could be added, like what we're trying to do with After Dark now, and just
Yeah.
adding on to the game what a lot of people are missing.
How do you guys figure out how does the finding a game to publish go for like Paradox?
Ooh, that goes via the acquisition process. Not something that I have much of a part in, or any part in. It's a guy called Shams, one of the Paradox veterans, and the bringer of rumors. It's the same person that's been doing a lot of tweets that got misinterpreted later into, or as actual information. Alas, he speaks with, I don't know how many people, but a lot of people and teams and ideas, and finds things that just go along with the Paradox pillars and what we want to create and release. Because I mean, everyone at Paradox pretty much is a huge gamer, and we love just so many kinds of games, but we have decided to go with games that kind of fit our idea and what we are, with, you know, the infinite playing, or not infinite, but the kind of sandbox idea and the strategy elements and the thinking man's game. So there are a lot of games that we want to make, but we don't want us to make, if that makes sense.
Right. No, we used to stream some Crusader Kings too. And it was kind of funny because when we played it, Flawless here was stuck in jail for about 4 hours. Like we started the
That's
game
nice.
up. We started the game up, and then what happened was his
Who'd you
brother
start
or
as?
uncle. I was, I think, in England, and he was Scotland. And basically, when he started in Scotland, he just went straight to jail. His brother took his crown from him and just went to jail for 4 hours, and was very limited in what he could do as we streamed it. So I've actually, and I played Europa Universalis, but I don't think I'm good at it. You know what I mean?
Neither am I. honest.
It's a little complicated though. I feel like if I really put some time into it, it'd be kind of good. But life gets in the way.
Mm.
So Paradox is actually one of those companies to me that is probably one of the best publishers out there right now in terms of the quality of the
Very
games. No, it's true. It's like Crusader Kings, Pearls of Eternity. We played a ton of that on
Crusader
stream.
Kings.
Are you excited for the White March?
Yes, I am. But oddly enough, I can't believe it. I didn't even know there was expansion coming out
No, but
until
we
I looked at the
recently
website.
announced it.
I looked at the website. I'm like, holy crap, expansion.
I actually think the expansion was part of the original backer promise.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this was kind of expected. We just hadn't really announced what it was all about.
Mm.
It looks super fun. I learned a lot about it today. I was writing the FAQ.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna add a lot to the game, a lot of gameplay and story. But I haven't gotten around to playing Pillars either. I don't know. I've been so preoccupied with cities that I haven't got time for any other Paradox game. At least playing it.
Yeah.
Which is a bit sad.
No, but it's a great Pillars of Eternity. We grew up in that era, right? We're like in the early 30s at this point. So for us, the CRPGs were kind of normal. Baldur's Gate, Icewind
That makes
Dale,
sense.
Yeah.
all those. So we were excited to see them making a comeback.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a lot of old genres are coming back nowadays. Like there wasn't a really good city game other than SimCity. Well, SimCity 4 came out. Then SimCity itself, the newest one, came out. But there's a very large gap in city building genre games for a while, from what I'm aware of.
So which of the roller coaster games are you guys most excited for?
I feel like, what's the latest Tycoon one coming out? Usually I was a fan of Tycoons.
There's a Roller Coaster Tycoon World that there was a leaked release date that said September, but now it's changed like 2016. That looks gorgeous, and then there's Team Architect from I think it's 3 indie guys. That's like Roller Coaster Tycoon 2, and then there's Planet Coaster by Frontier, the ones who made Elite Dangerous. So there's actually 3 kind of big contestants, or 2 big and 1 interesting, that are running for that now, which is super interesting because Tycoon games are amazing and kind of died off too for some reason.
Yeah, they did. I know one of our streamers, Vocum, is big into Roller Coaster Tycoon. So Delroy says Roller Coaster Tycoon World is the one he's looking forward to.
I'm actually looking at it right now on Steam because I wasn't too familiar. I've heard about it. It was one of those things you see kind of like pop up in news, but I didn't look at it yet. But it actually looks pretty. I'm a big simulation kind of guy. Like I play Euro Truck a lot.
Mm-hmm. What's fun with Euro Truck? I've been trying. I really want to understand that game, but what's entertaining with Euro Truck?
The thing for Euro Truck for me, honestly, is I enjoy. It's my Zen game. I turn it on, I throw music on, and especially if I'm streaming it, it's kind of like almost background noise. Like if you're at a party and there's music in the background or a TV, it's there to like watch and enjoy, but like it's more for like talking and community. That's kind of how I use it, because I'll be talking with Chad or whatever, and just
veering off the road when he does.
And slamming into things constantly, because I'll look over at Chad and
You just drive. I mean, I guess I kind of understand it. It's just, why don't you drive? I mean, it's costly.
You also build up your empire. You get new garages, you buy new trucks, you upgrade the trucks, you get new drivers. They have better ratings. So it's kind of like building slowly, like up an empire. Now, I will say it's not like the deepest game ever. I'm quite honest about that. I do enjoy it, but you're not sitting there thinking like, what should I do next? Like, no, you just pick another job and you throw another garage up and you just kind of amass an empire.
I mean, I guess it sounds fun.
It's not everyone's game. I'm not going to lie. It's like, it's very much, if you find it boring, I can understand it.
I mean, I haven't even tried it, but I've just seen people play it or heard about it, and it's always on like the Steam top sellers or kind of in the top 15, which is surprising for a truck game. But then people like interesting things.
And
There's
streaming
no
it,
that.
and streaming it, a lot of people show up. It's kind of funny. You would think it would be boring to watch, but for some reason, a lot of people enjoy it. Fizz had asked how many programmers CO had. Colossal Order.
Like, I think they have 3 or 4, but I think 3. They're hiring really, really slowly, but they've hired like 2-3 new people lately, and I think one of them was a programmer. But yeah, roughly 3-4.
Because Fizz had said that the game is coded amazingly.
Oh,
Yeah, they
we're
did a
very
good
happy to hear.
job.
That's the Finnish work ethic. 'Cause again, I
Mhm.
mean, they
Yeah.
they worked on, I think, roughly 2 years on the game. But they work really hard and really focused, and they really like what they do. I mean, this
Right.
was a passion project for both Paradox and Colossal Order. I mean, everyone on the team loves city builders and have always done. So it's
Yep.
it's kind of, you know, a given that there's a lot of heart in it.
And there was a big desire for it too, because SimCity really, it wasn't a terrible game, but it left a lot of people with a bad taste in the mouth. So I think also a lot of the success from Cities came from timing, because
Yep,
it was the
definitely.
perfect time for it to show up.
Yeah, because I mean, I not that I want to say that there was like a sour taste from SimCity 2013, because that sold a lot. That still sold
Mhm.
more than we have done. And I mean, there's a lot of people that still play it and love it. But as you say, people wanted something else too, and we filled that void, and it's really fun. I mean, it was super annoying during development that I kind of tried to force myself to not play the game, because you know, when you're not taking part in development but you still have access to the unfinished game,
Yep.
you kind of, you know, you see it go through so many betas and iterations and bug fixing phases and changes that you know, kind of get tired of it before it actually launches.
Yeah.
So it was really hard to resist not playing it, because I was just craving a city builder,
Yeah.
but I wanted to wait until roughly launch times, which I kind of find amazing with people like Colossal that work on the actual game, that they can still find passion for it and like it that much when they've been so close and tight with it for such a long time. But I guess that's kind of an issue with game development as a whole.
Right.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I mean, you figure people would start getting sick of it if they were doing it day in, day out, but for some reason they still, at the end of the day, have a deep love and passion for it, will play it, even though they know most of the game itself. They know how it runs underneath the hood.
But it makes sense too. There's the passion to it. Actually, I'm looking at you build right now. What's your favorite custom asset that you have downloaded?
Oh, my favorite custom asset? Man. I'd say, actually, it's very utility. It's actually my solar civic amenity site.
Solar Civic amenity site.
It's
Bring it up on
basically,
that screen.
yeah, it's basically,
It's gonna get here eventually.
it's, I can plop one down. It's basically a recycling center. I mean, people don't love having it near their houses, but they don't hate it either. And it sends out some garbage trucks. It doesn't have
It's
a huge,
actually really cool.
doesn't have a huge amount of storage, but it has enough to, you know, help you not have to build a million dumps and then empty them out.
That's actually really cool. So I like the blue garbage trucks too. They're cozy.
Yeah, those are Japanese garbage trucks, actually. And then we have the other one I'd say I really like is the accordion buses that you'll be looking at shortly.
Ooh, yeah, I like that we managed to add vehicle modding. It added a lot to just the cityscape.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
super looking forward to. I mean, we kind of have a standing goal with each major update we do, that we kind of increase or improve or in some way just add to the modding scene. So I'm really looking forward to every big update as that kind of just brings something new to the table. And I mean, it sparks just an amazing amount of mods. We got some stats from Steam on our workshop that we're gonna talk about. We have a panel at PAX next weekend, I think, where we're gonna talk Skylines modding. We have a few people on the team that are just gonna banter on about it, where we're gonna talk something about the numbers, because there's just so many people involved in our modding scene. There's a surprising amount of users.
Are you going to be on there as well? You going to be on the panel?
Yes, I will.
Nice.
I'll have to watch that.
Right?
It's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to it. We have it's Shams, the acquisition guy. Then there's me. Then there is Carolina from Colossal Order, and then there is an interesting guest from the community.
Oh my.
Oh my.
It's gonna be fun.
No, that's a teaser, folks, right there.
Don't worry, guys. It's not us. Relax. It's fine.
Relax.
So
Unfortunately,
that's fine.
Unfortunately, sure.
We're not that big. It's okay. I know where we are in the pecking order. It's okay.
So,
But- Go ahead.
oh, so yeah, you know, the mod scene is one of the wonderful things about this game. Getting new buildings, you can see, like, I use a fair amount of downloaded assets at this point. I've been adding them bit by bit, different buildings, um, different monuments, especially famous monuments. You know, do you find that as cool as I do? That, you know, people make, like, you know, things from their home, things
I
they
love
see
it.
around them.
It's going to be really fun to see, which I think is going to happen eventually, when someone releases their first own like complete building pack that kind of revamps the game in the same way that European buildings did.
Didn't they do? Didn't they do like an entire San Andreas?
Oh,
at one
right.
point?
Oh, yeah.
There's actually a few of those already. Now that I think of it.
It's pretty impressive, and it was like I remember reading about it. It was like 2 weeks or a week after the game launched. It was
Oh, you
a ridiculous
mean
time frame. Yeah,
when they did the GTA map?
yeah.
Yeah, but that I think that was only the actual topography of the map, and then they kind of tried to replicate it with the base assets.
Yeah, it was still pretty impressive the amount of time.
Super cool. People are super dedicated. I mean, there are modders. I don't know. A lot of them kind of dedicate a big part of their life to the game and to adding to it. I mean, we have a few that have hundreds of assets to the game.
Yeah.
And they're really high quality too. A lot of them. It's really impressive. And it's really fun too, just to have people contribute to something that you made and just make it that much better. Because I mean, how many games haven't succeeded due to mods alone? I mean, how many games that are just kind of okay or good have been amazing because of mods?
Skyrim. I was reading a But's question, which I'm going to ask in a minute. But Skyrim was huge, as you said earlier. Warcraft 3. Warcraft 3, the base game, I really don't like that much. The mods,
it's fun, but
it's the entire limiting of like the size of your armies kind of did it for me. Kind of made it not as fun. And I did play the single player, which was awesome. But the modding scene is what really made it different. And that's where, honestly, Blizzard kind of dropped the ball with StarCraft 2 because of the way they set up the modding scene and custom games.
But it actually looks like the Dota guys are kind of trying to recover that. It looks like their custom game engine is actually super powerful.
It is, and it's also based on kind of Warcraft 3, where you can go in and you kind of it's kind of a blend. You can go in and see the top games, but you can also go by lobby. And
Which is super important.
It really is, because that's where StarCraft 2 kind of failed. Theirs was like
sorted like after how popular it was, so the non-popular ones never kind of got any kind of visibility. I remember reading some kind of controversy about that.
Right, they never saw. You could never find like people to play your games that weren't that popular. They never gave them a fair shot. Later on they did add to it and put like an area where you could go and try up and coming games, but it's not the same as having just that. It was so simple, but it was so potent, that list of games that just would pop up as the lobbies were created.
Yeah, definitely.
You had a chance, you know?
That's how you found all the fun new modes. I mean, that's where I spent a large part of my Warcraft 3 times, just scrolling and finding and downloading.
I used to play a lot of tower defenses that were fantastic. Hero Sieges.
Tower defense was really fun.
Yep. I was one that had
Hero Siege.
X-Hero Siege, fantastic. We're gonna play that later. But
yeah, I now I'm really reminiscing hard about Warcraft 3. That was an amazing game.
It really was.
By the way, do you have any questions about After Dark that you've been thinking about that we haven't really answered or addressed?
Yep, we kind of have. We do. But Buttsberg had actually a question, and he knows he's not a programmer, but he was wondering how difficult you thought it might be to add in the ability for seaports to go port to port instead of port to outside and allow citizen riders.
Ooh. I mean, if I tackle it from a different angle, I know that Glass Lorder, they did Citizen Motion 2 before, right? Or Citizen Motion 1 and 2, where we had, for example, trams, and we had ferries, and we had a lot of things like that that we don't feature in City Skylines yet. So I know there's big wants internally for us to add more traffic systems, especially public transit, especially since we're Scandinavian and we love public transit. And taking that into consideration, I wouldn't find it too alien to imagine that ferries or something among the sorts would be a plausible thing for us to see in the future and be like, huh, that actually adds a lot of gameplay. We should do that. Now, I haven't heard it mentioned as much as example trams, but for hopefully this game will have kind of a long tail and we continue developing it for a long time. Meaning that eventually it's a very plausible possibility that something like that gets added, but not something that would be now or now-ish. So
Right.
it would be hard in the sense that it would not be prioritized
Well,
today. There are a lot of other things we'd like that.
That kind of leads into After Dark, because you're putting in bike lanes and bus lanes, and so there's some new transit
Taxis are awesome.
too. Yeah, mostly for the nightlife, I guess, right? Because you don't want them drinking and driving. So
Yes, they're gonna be a powerful tool for a lot of situations. I mean, hopefully the goal is that every kind of different public transit system will bring its own thing to the table.
Mhm,
So,
mhm.
I mean, I think you're gonna see more of them, and I hope to see ferries. Ferries are really cool. I would like to build some kind of archipelago where it has like ferries going around with tourists discovering old medieval English islands. That'd be awesome.
One of the
Wooden
big-
ferry.
Sorry.
one of the from the developer diary, one of the big questions that came up, which I don't know if it was answered or not, is what's the amount of time the night was going to last in game? Because right now, obviously, you're going through days and it's pretty quick if you look at the bottom left of the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any? Do you have any information on like how long a cycle of night versus day is going to last? I know it's not going to be the same as in-game time, I would imagine.
You know how the game goes on two different time levels, where there's kind of the agent simulation time level and there's the city management time level, right? I mean, I can't really go into exact details how long the nights are yet. I think that's going to come up in the future developer diary.
Come on!
But I mean, it's kind of obvious that the night will go on the slower scale, right? So the days, the kind of days that your citizens conform to, would be more sensibly paired with how day and night goes.
Yeah.
And I hope that kind of makes sense. So you're not going to be like, you know, it's just going to flipper by and it's going to be super fast and ridiculous. It's going to be, you know,
strobe lights,
an ebb and flow, yeah.
Dance party in the square.
That'd be fun.
Party.
But probably not too healthy. Ooh, is that like a football court you have over there?
I
know the video's a bit after.
I have a football, that's like a neighborhood football, and then I have a full stadium.
That's
We
nice.
picked up Rio Grande Casino here, which is a really nice asset, actually.
It's so confusing when you're kind of lagging behind and the.
Usually we share screen
nice stadium.
on Skype, but this game takes a lot of CPU power when your cities get larger.
Especially when you're encoding
kind of
video.
growing.
Yeah, and encoding. So usually we share a screen so we're in real time, but this game is a little bit more difficult to do it, unfortunately. And there's
It's
no
okay.
there's
Yeah,
no way to do it, unfortunately. That's easier.
I think I'm like 15 seconds behind, so it's just a fun challenge to keep track of what you're saying and, you know, be mentally behind. Was that a castle?
There's a castle.
Look at that. This is a kind of magical garden. you have a really nice city. I applaud you. I like
thank you.
this.
It's got some Japanese dojos.
Yeah, this is my
Castles.
tourist trap here. Little Japan. We got Buddha sitting here, which you'll see in 15 seconds.
Oh yeah, I like that.
And yeah, this is the touristy. I try to set up like a good tourist area. Unfortunately, I didn't pick a very good part of the map for my cruise ships, so they're kind of off in the side, bringing almost nobody in.
No, that can be fixed in the future. You should probably be able to utilize a lot of leisure zones and nightclubs around that area in the future then, and have it as a tourist hotspot.
Oh yeah, I want
It's
seedy clubs,
Ooh.
high crime. In this city, we have you know, a little bit of lore instead of having, because I have a lot of police officers, so we don't have really street crime. What we have is Pepsi versus Coca-Cola. So all the drive-bys are soda trucks trying to take out other soda trucks, because they have Pepsi and Coca-Cola trucks downloadable on the workshop. Yes, you'll see one coming by in a second here.
Well, that's nice. I need to add Coca-Cola trucks then. Even though I'm drinking Pepsi right now, but I think Coca-Cola is superior.
Thank you. I agree.
I condone. Even though American Coke is really, really weird because you guys don't have real sugar, which I noticed when I drank it when it was last there, and it's just, I don't know, it's so strange.
To us, it's real sugar, though.
Yeah. It's what you grow up on, I guess.
Yeah, I know, but I heard you guys import Coke from Mexico. Not that kind of Coke.
Well, we get both. We
Yeah.
get
Yeah,
both.
you get both, of course.
Yeah,
but
America
you,
gets
you
both.
you
Yeah.
pull like real sugar Coke from Mexico to get your fix.
But it's more expensive.
Of
So
course, it's real sugar.
yeah.
Let's hit into Dell actually asked a question earlier, which I've been trying to get to, which is about traffic actually, but it kind of this is for both actually Flawless and John, because is there any updates coming in the expansion for any of the traffic AI and Flawless? Afterwards, what do you use to help deal with traffic issues for mods, if there is any? John first.
All right, so I don't think so. No, I don't think there's going to be any kind of changes to the traffic how it flows. I mean, there might be minor adjustments, as in smoother animations when merging or something like that. I don't know the specifics, but that could possibly be something that's changed. But as traffic works right now, it's kind of as intended. It's supposed to be a challenge,
Right.
and it's supposed to be solvable by real solutions. And in many cases, it actually is. I mean, we've been looking at this problem from so many perspectives and seen that if you design a city realistically, you will generally have good traffic, right?
Yep.
Of course, there are some things that could be better. Of course, there are some scenarios where drivers could behave more humanly. And there might be changes to that in the future, but for this update, no, there's not going to be anything to how drivers behave. And I mean, we've been looking at the Traffic++ mod, and especially their enhanced AI solution.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. It's really cool. It's really well made, and it makes drivers act in a lot more sensible ways. But it also adds huge strain on the CPU. We tested an early version, so I'm not sure if it's a lot better now. As it was, I think we tested a 200k city, which had almost a minute per day on full speed to just get through the traffic, because it was just so heavy to simulate. So it's a very large strain to have, just a vast amount of agents having to continuously retrack their paths and work out what they're doing.
Right.
So and I mean, the game, it's not too heavy on a lot of computers, right? And which is something that a lot of people appreciate, because a lot of the fans that like this kind of game don't have these beast gaming rigs.
Yeah.
So for us to be able to maintain the system requirements, it's kind of feasible to do some compromises in the strain of the game.
Right. So
if that makes sense.
Oh, it does. Yeah, it does, because I mean, calculating as your city gets a lot bigger, you're calculating a lot of people all at once. And cars on foot.
It's a lot of calculations. It's, as you mentioned, it's CPU heavy.
Yeah. For what I do for traffic, well, public transportation is definitely one. A good amount of bus lines and adding buses, because I use I can get you the actual name, improved public transport mod, and it lets me modify lines easily.
Which is a super nice mod, by the way.
Yeah, it's a very nice mod. And I just try to make sure that I have a lot of bus lines, but I also try to make sure that I don't have a lot of close to each other intersections whenever possible. I find whenever I can open up and make sure I don't have intersections near each other, traffic moves a lot smoother. I also, whenever possible, try to avoid four-way intersections, which is practically impossible, but if I can, I don't. And I also have the traffic lights mod, which means I can shut off lights at certain intersections. So if I have an intersection that is a four-way, but most of the traffic comes in just two directions, I can just shut off the lights and let them figure it out. More lives lost, but that's okay. I build a lot of hospitals. So
it's actually, I don't know if you read this, there's an old experiment a couple of years back in an English town where they removed all traffic lights, which actually resulted in just immensely more smooth flowing and the traffic. And I think there were less accidents and just generally worked a lot better without traffic lights. So I say turn them all off.
Turn them all off.
I mean, anarchy is kind of a plausible solution in some scenarios.
Let them find their own way.
Yes. Live free.
But that's actually a really good list of mods. I mean, the traffic light one is amazing. And a lot of the mods, I mean, I think that's one of the big charming things with the mods too, right? You can choose to improve the game or change the game in any way you want, and it leaves room for people with higher-end computers to do things like that. So, I mean, I'm
Right.
not saying that we should let the modders solve game problems for us, but it's a very nice additional resource that allows us to prioritize other things until no, not until something, but just prioritize other things, right? Because we are still a small studio, and we have to kill a lot of darlings. Unfortunately, it's the saddest part of developing games. And having an active community adding to the game makes it a lot, not easier, but a lot better for everyone, I think.
A lot more manageable, too.
I would say it makes killing darlings a lot more manageable, because you know that you will be, as sad as you'll be not doing something, you'll be equally happy seeing that someone else did something awesome.
Right.
So it really weighs up for that sad part.
So
or unfortunate parts.
Yeah. This is asking, are there going to be more specialized zones, like different offices or different residential zones? I guess like medium residential, that would lead into as a question.
Not right now, not for After Dark. Maybe in the future, I know it's not entirely impossible, but the idea is that the amount of zones we have right now should do it for most cases, and then if anything be modified via district types, like we do with industry and like we're going to do with leisure and beach zones.
Yeah.
Because that should be able to serve the same purpose and be a bit more flexible.
I was looking at the expansion information, and one of the things I actually noticed was the budgeting, which was pretty easy to notice. But what we have noticed playing, though, is budget's not really that important until later on in the game. So it's actually kind of exciting to see the budgets have to be changed for nighttime versus daytime for like police and leisure.
It's going to be, I mean, hopefully you should be able to do more with budgets than just save money or be very, you know, cold about it. I mean, I like to see budget as a tool to modify how your city behaves too, right? I mean, if you just do something as simple as hire the budget for what's it called, garbage during the nights, you can kind of modify your city in a way that it's going to be, you know, it's going to be a lot heavier there traffic on the nights, but it's going to work out a lot less on the days, and that might change the entire traffic flow of the city, or it kind of change the behavior of the city. You know, you can kind of use budget as a powerful tool to manage your citizens. So hopefully players, when we give them more room or more space to play with it, you know, with the different day and nighttime budgets, people are going to use it more early to have it like as a gameplay element instead of just something that you're like, oh, now I need electricity really fast, let's hire the budget, or oh no, I'm dying, let's put everything to 50.
Yeah,
because that's how I see a lot of players using it, right? You know, it's just a kind of death day tool or optimization tool, where I think you should see it a lot more flexibly than that.
Yeah, because I certainly find that I don't touch it very much unless I'm playing around with districts, which I love the districting tool. It's a really nice way to form and manage districts, just painting on the basically painting over your city. But unless I'm trying to do something, you know, interesting with a certain district, I don't tend to hit the budget very much until I'm trying to basically pull more money out of my poor townspeople.
Which is fun and a big part of the game. But yeah, I think this will hopefully change a bit with After Dark. Just adding, as I mentioned, the kind of ebb and flow of the city will give you a lot more feeling for how your city changes during the day, and that will hopefully add or create some kind of incentive for people to play around with that panel and be like, ooh, what can I do? How can I modify? How can I optimize?
How are Viz asked how the bike path's going to work. Are they going to be walkways, or are they just going to lane in the road?
I think that a few people have kind of deducted the screenshots that were released the other day and noticed both bike and bus lanes. So I will have to refer to that and say that we're going to do a complete developer diary on that in the future, but that's not something that I can go too much into detail on yet.
Oh,
That's
I know,
okay.
right?
Oh.
This is like the sad part about being a PR guy, that you
Yeah.
kind of have to be like, well, it's something that we're going to hold on. It's something that you'll know in the future. Ooh.
Such a tease.
I'd love to tell you, but not just yet.
But we are big fans of bicycles, and I think that everyone's going to be really happy with how the system turns out and what it lets you do.
I know I was a big fan of bicycles until I got a car.
People don't get cars here. Or, I mean, not people that live in Stockholm, at least. It's really unnecessary. You don't go anywhere except with public transit and your feet.
Sounds like a lot of work.
That's super nice.
on Reddit, Zulathan had asked, I'm wondering if the new zones will be available on European maps as well and will be new models for us, and will the waterfront and beach stuff be compatible visibly with existing European buildings?
I am 99.8% sure that they're compatible with European maps, and I'm equally sure that they are probably the same for both map types. If that answered that question.
I think it did.
I think
I
so.
think it did.
We'll go with that.
Hopefully it did.
We'll go with it.
But mind you, there's a 0.2% chance that I'm wrong here, so I'm gonna just leave that open.
No problem.
That's fine.
Protect yourself.
Get a way out.
But
Escape
the thing is that sometimes I'm surprised how much Colossal Order does, and then they kind of just jump in. They're like, "Oh, but we did a different building set for this thing," or with, for example, with the European maps, they completely surprised us with the fact that they hadn't just added the new zonable buildings, but they also changed the service buildings. So we were just going through that beta builder, and we're like, "But hey, look, everything else is different too." Well, that was a lot more than we expected. So, I mean, we're still some bits from releasing After Dark.
Yeah.
I don't really know exactly what we're going to add there. Of course, our producers do, but they're quiet people. You don't always know what's going on.
Surprise!
Has there been any thought about like other sets, like for example, I thought of like Japan or India or even China, those kind of maybe like Asian style cities. Any thoughts on
Thoughts? Yes, but
but action,
I
maybe
reckon,
not.
No, but I reckon the idea we have right now with what we work on is a lot that what can we do that our players can't? Like what powers do we have that other people lack? Because there is a super active modding scene. As you even have a Japanese-esque park, right? In your game. So there's obviously people interested in doing that. And even though we think it's super fun, it would be amazing to have that. We once again have to kill our darlings, and we are going a lot more in the direction of gameplay affecting things. And
right.
Of course, it would be super cool to have an expansion that is, it's an Asian culture expansion, and it makes your city behave like an Asian one with different behaviors of citizens, etc. But that's a bit far-fetched, so I don't think that's going to happen from our side for quite some time, and I think you're going to see a lot more things like the day-night cycle or other things that just affect gameplay and add something to the game that no one else can really touch or do in the same deep way that we can.
Right.
So things that affect code base.
Yeah, definitely affect code base. I mean, Colossal Order are I say they're programmer heavy when they don't have that many programmers, but they're also a small studio. But that's really their expertise. That's where they're really good. So that's where you're going to see a lot from us, at least in the coming time. You're going to see things that just make the game better, more fun, and exciting to play.
Still asked if there's any plans for some kind of online capacity in the game in the future. I would assume is his question.
No, unfortunately not. But there are some people that are advocating it internally. I, for one, want us to add a Where's Waldo mode with Oculus Rift supports, where you kind of invade your friends' games as Waldo, and they have to find you. But
I actually kind of like that.
Yeah,
I know it would be amazing.
I'm down.
it would be like a tourism mode too, so you can see your friends' cities and explore them. But no, multiplayer is probably not coming. Sorry.
Yeah, that's what. What about like trading with people's pre-built cities? Because you know you have the trucks that go off the map and out into the ether.
I missed him so much.
It would be really cool. Sure, it would be a nice sense of connectivity to be like, oh, look, here's an exporting truck that's going to, you know,
My
friend's
buddies.
penis town.
Oh yeah, it's a good town. Oh, I think we lost Daria. Just a second, guys, while we try to get the call back here. We apparently had a power surge, so...
Hello.
Greetings. Sorry, we we lost a breaker apparently.
No.
So he's going to fix that.
I'm playing Saki.
But luckily I put my cord on a different outlet, so the stream is still go.
Oh, are you in the same place?
Yeah, I rent a room from Darith. We're three of our streamers are from Massachusetts, Boston, Massachusetts, and one of our streamers is from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. So
This is a very nice mix.
right?
Malaysia's awesome though. It's a nice place. I mean, nothing bad about Massachusetts, but Malaysia's awesome.
Well, you know, I understand. We didn't get the Olympics either, so I suppose we lost some points internationally for that one too.
I was in the middle of multiplayer. Yes. Okay. So my final point is that it would be a cool addition, but if it's not done anything but perfectly or really well done, it's not worth doing half-assed.
Yeah.
And
it's a lot of work too.
it's a lot of work to make something sensible and fun. I mean, because the game isn't built with the multiplayer in mind, so many things would have to be added and changed that it would probably be a fundamentally different game, and then it wouldn't be Skylines or multiplayer anymore, then it would be something different.
Right, right. I mean, for a city builder, as long as you have a good city builder, you've got a good game. So the multiplayer is, like you said, one of those darlings, but probably
But
not
it would
something.
still be cool.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
We have also discussed a kaiju defense mode where you should be able to attack people's city as a monster, which would also be cool. A lot of our multiplayer ideas have been involving the Oculus Rift.
Yeah. Well, it would be cool to walk around your own city, like, you know, 3D.
Yeah, right?
Being able to just travel around. Yeah.
It would probably not work in the Unity engine, but it's a cool thought. But alas, no, multiplayer is a big no in current day and age.
So what excites you when you know, community manager? I'm sure you kick up the forums all the time and log in. And what excites you when you hit those forums? Like you go read a post. What do you find exciting there?
Oh, man, everything.
Everything.
Okay, it's the first thing I do every day after I've done my morning routine and gotten my coffee and everything important is that I check Paradox Plaza, our main forums, and Reddit, and I look for cool things people have done and updates to discussions. Because the best thing about being a community manager is that you're in some kind of constant, huge discussion with a ginormous amount of people.
Right.
And the first thing I do every day is that I just catch up on what people have said.
I'm back.
So much. Oh, welcome back.
Thank you. It's good to be back. Long story. Don't worry about it.
So much fun. Anyways.
So go on. Yep.
And sorry, lost my train of thought there. I don't know. That's what excites me most about work. I mean, I really, really, really like community work. I like support work. I'm one of those people that don't mind, being a support help desk agent, even though you deal with angry people all the time, because I find it so immensely satisfying to help someone. Even though it's just about a game, but still, I mean, a lot of people rely on games to entertain them, or get their mind away from life. So it's just really, really fun to be able to be kind of a helpful resource.
Do you have any tips? Because we have to deal with community, right? So PR is part of our thing nowadays. Do you have any tips? Because I have no classical training on being PR. It's all just
neither do I. So it's the biggest tip when dealing with community is that you need to be able to completely disregard tone in anything and only see information, right? So when someone writes something, you need to see only what that person is trying to convey, and not in any kind of way which manner they're conveying it through, because a vast amount of things to handle will be rude, stupid, strange,
the way they term it.
Of different things. I mean, you also deal with amazing people and super smart people, but there's going to be a large enough portion of things that could have conventionally made you less happy than you were previously, than in many other jobs, right? So you need to be able to completely dislodge yourself from anything like that and just see what people are trying to say, because then it's suddenly really easy, because then you're seeing something logically and calmly and just tackling it or helping it. Beyond that, I don't know. It's the most important thing. After that, things just kind of fall together.
I thought it really interesting because you were basically brought in, but didn't have any training in PR, which is pretty awesome, actually.
Right.
That's kind of how I got my old job too. So
it's a good way to get in.
Dar, by the way, your mic is extremely loud now.
To be frank, I don't have any training in anything at all, so it's lucky I was brought in for my part.
Well, there's no streaming training schools yet, so.
Yeah.
I know, it's unfortunate. Although streaming was really fun. It's something that I wish I still had time for, but it's also incredibly time consuming.
It is.
I am sure you guys know how large of a partition of your life it becomes when you start trying to, reach people.
I think one interesting thing I've noticed, which isn't really much about the game itself, but in general, in gaming, people kind of get hired, not like for other than coding, but we'll say the more, how to put it. We're not talking about the coding and art because you actually need a lot of training for that, but the things like streaming, PR, community management, all that stuff, a lot of people learn as they go and then get jobs in the scene, like esports, for example. Some people don't have degrees, but they're running major tournaments because of what they've done in the past. Experience is huge in gaming stuff nowadays compared to actual training.
Yeah, because it's so unconventional too, right? It's a new industry, it's a new market, it's a new way of thinking. So, of course, the people that have dealt with it and done things are the most valuable resources. And esports especially is probably the best way to start out. It's so easy to get into in some way. You start adminning tournaments, or you're active on the forums, or you do a couple of mods, or you play, or something like that. And then when you get your foot in, you kind of start understanding the industry, because everything is still so small that, esports people and development people, they're really close together. We, not on a day-to-day basis, but as just a person in the industry, you encounter every part often. especially if you work for a publisher. But even if you work as a developer, you see everything. You kind of just get the cogs in front of your eyes. It's kind of like the Matrix, but really slowly, where information just flows in. And I think it's like that for everyone. Everyone that gets involved on their small corner start understanding things, and then you are educated. You kind of understand the industry, and that's what is required for you to do your part, to do your thing. And it's actually really fun because it brings together so many different kinds of people, right? You get the hardcore gamers, you get the developers, you get the people, like me, that I had no idea or no intention to work with gaming at all. I've always been a gamer, but I never aspired to work with games.
Right.
But it just kind of happened, and it was natural. And we have lots of people at Paradox that, can come from vastly different industries or experiences, and some of them haven't even gamed before, but they just get into it and kind of start loving it because it's so much fun to work with.
Awesome. Well, I don't want to keep it too long because we're about an hour in, and it's Friday night for you. It's Friday night for you, and I don't, I'm sure you've got a girlfriend. You got things you might want to do. In general,
she's restarting. She has the unfortunate issue that's hopefully kind of rare now, that every time she goes into the main menu, the game crashes the desktop. And being a huge fan of creating parks, she tells me daily that it's a very large annoyance having to go back and forth. So she just finished a park. So hopefully I have it at least some time until she's bored with it.
Well, yeah,
in case I have any more questions.
Did you guys have any questions in chat while we're sitting here? As we wait.
Have your voice heard? CIM Copter. Which I believe there's a mod for that. Yeah.
There actually is.
Yeah, I believe there's a mod for that.
I'm not sure how well it works yet, because I don't think there's like any physics implemented into the game. But I think you can fly around, and I think it has kind of a skin.
I know I've seen cars fly off roads I've destroyed.
Which is fun.
I know. So good.
It's happened at other times too, where the Pathfinder gets really confused and tries to go like down through roads, when it's an overpass, and the car just kind of dives through the asphalt. It's all fun in games.
One of the questions we had on Reddit was, which I don't know much about the tool, so you'll have to forgive me, but why haven't we all gotten together and collectively requested a snow tool, which would work the same as a sand tool?
So you mean like a texture drawing tool?
I guess so, yeah. Like snow areas, I guess?
I think that with the current version of Unity, don't quote me on this, but I am relatively sure that with the current version of Unity and our game especially, you cannot paint ground textures. They are set.
Oh, I see.
So I think that it's unfortunately as simple as that. I really don't know how it works, but I know that I raised this in the team, and I got a pretty straightforward answer that it's really, really difficult, at least, or not possible, to do some kind of live editing of ground textures, unfortunately.
And Fizz asked, do you know how many expansions there may be? Is it going to be like, Europa or City or Crusader Kings, and have a ton of them?
It's going to be like EU and CK in the sense that we will most likely continue developing the game for as long as it makes sense.
Yeah.
And of course, we're a business, so it means financial sense and sense for the players, because of course we really do care deeply about our players, which means that of course it's a big part of the strategy to make sure that they're happy and satisfied with the game. But eventually you come to a point where it's just, no, this doesn't make sense anymore, or you start making City Skylines 2 or whatever. But it's gonna be a while. I'm sure of that. So.
Yeah.
You sure you don't want to tell us more about City Skylines 2?
Announced live here.
Not even on the agenda.
I
would assume
City Skylines was really built to be expanded upon, and I'm not saying that in the sense that I think they did with Evolve, saying it's a DLC platform.
Right.
But it's definitely a game, just like EU and CK, that you can do a lot more with.
Yeah, I can see like them making a new version of this until the engine itself maybe needed to be upgraded, or some of the code was just, if it was coded improperly, which doesn't seem the case.
Yeah, that's actually two biggest reasons I think for creating a sequel in a sandbox game like this
Mhm.
is that either the code is too complicated and just messed up,
Mhm.
or it's just that you're limited way too much by your current engine or how things are structured on the ground. Because of course, when you work with a game like this, you know, as things progress, you always come to a point where you're like, oh, I could have designed this system better in this way.
Mhm.
But you can't really go back and change it, so it's something you have to learn for the future. Just, I mean, look at Europe Universalis 1 to 4, and you will really see that process of thought, because each and one of those games has been made at a point where it's just like, okay, right now we look at our game and we think, holy shit, who did this? We need to make it better.
Mhm.
Right.
I'm not saying that's the exact words they did, but I'm pretty sure that's the thought process behind it.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, and with City Skylines, that's going to be quite some time, because we're really satisfied with what we have.
Mhm. Mhm.
I'd absolutely agree with you. I think this game has a lot of potential, and I don't think you'll need to make an expansion on this for a very long, like not expansion, excuse me, a sequel for a very long time.
Mhm.
Hopefully not. Hopefully people will continue to be satisfied. And I mean, we are really happy with using the expansion/DLC policy we have now too, with how we kind of try to pair free and paid content, because that really does allow us to continue developing for a long time. Because believe it or not, that's actually what, you know, makes a game financially feasible and sustainable. You know, people want to support a game where you can continue playing for free and you can buy more things. That's it's a model that people really agree with.
And Paradox is actually fantastic about the way they do DLC, in my opinion, because
Me too.
they do bring out expansions that are very. There's a lot of content, but the content you also give away some for free in terms of that expansion. Like Day and Night, I know a lot of people were, at least on Reddit, were kind of complaining about having to pay for Day and Night, and I remember, and you actually responded to them on Reddit, and very nicely, even though it's going to be a dick about it. You were like, no, it's free for everybody. It's a major feature. We see it as a major feature. It should be for everyone.
They shouldn't split the player base,
Yeah.
right? Because a lot of every mod after this is going to somehow be connected to it. I mean, assets are going to have night lights. The mods, gameplay-wise, are probably going to have to take it into effect. So if we locked away that feature behind a paywall, it would just have resulted in a community that was, you know, couldn't really play the game to its full extent. And that turns off a lot of people. When you're at a point where you're like, okay, I have to pay for this game to be able to continue enjoying it, even though I just want the base game, because everything I download is incompatible with the non-paid version.
Right.
And that kind of leaves a sour taste in your mouth. And we, I mean, this really sounds like peer speak, but then it's really what we believe in. We want fans that when they buy something from us, they should do it because they want to, because it makes them happy, right? Because it kind of adds something to their experience, not because they feel like they're cheated or it's, you know, they have to do it to get on, but because they actually really want to. And hopefully with the DLC model we have, we allow people to be like, okay, I want this expansion, I want this additional gameplay, but not feel forced to it.
Yeah. Well, look at Microsoft was one of the major ones that had that issue with Kinect. Kinect has failed basically twice because in the beginning you could either buy an Xbox with or without it, and that kind of fractured the player base. And then no one ever makes games for it because you're only getting half of the actual consumers to buy it, because half of the consumers don't even own a Kinect. I own a Kinect. I don't even know where it is. It's somewhere. But Dell, I think that an elevated train station would that be covered in some mod? Would a mod of one of those be in there somewhere maybe? Or would it be
I think I saw an elevated train station the other day.
Really?
That was modded in.
I'm gonna have to go
Or
find
something
that.
along those lines.
You have to look for it.
Because I know there is one mod that actually I think it's Traffic Plus Plus, and it that allows you to do like multi-stop train stations and
I think so too, yeah. It's one of the more popular mods that has that as an addition.
yeah. So maybe you'll see. Maybe it might use that for an elevated. I mean, I don't think that's a mechanical problem. You just have to put the train up and
Yeah.
yeah.
But I'm not sure, because a lot of people have been asking for it, so there might be some kind of structural problem in the game that
Maybe.
doesn't let it
True.
work that way.
I don't know if maybe the train tracks don't go up in the air, maybe?
They do.
do?
They're
They do.
yeah, you can
Oh, in
elevate
that
them.
case,
Yeah, you
yeah.
can elevate it.
I'm honestly I'm not sure. It's something that I've been seeing a lot. You have some major traffic problems there by your industry area, by the way.
Yeah, nice work. Nice work.
But it's something that I haven't really been able to address. So I can try to bring it up with the team again and see what people say. But it's not going to be anything in After Dark.
Right. Yeah,
Uh,
understandable.
After Dark definitely looks like it's gonna be fun. I love the nightlife.
It
I
is.
like the boogie.
It's going to be really fun.
I like the boogie.
You're gonna like the nighttime daytime transition. I have with my developer tools, I can just up the speed of day, so playing Spy in a moment, and it's really fun to just sit there and watch your city go nuts. There's like flickering, and all the lights are going on and off, and all the little signs that turn on in the light. It's actually it's really cozy. And I mean, if you see in the screenshots right now are beta, so there might be some changes in how the graphics work and look. But if you see right now, all the different roads have kind of their own color of the traffic lights depending on their size. So you know, it's really nice to do a smaller rural society now, for example, with just the smaller roads, because they are like these kind of orange, very cozily luminescent ones, whilst bigger cities are more white and LED like. So it adds a lot of feeling to the game, I think and hope.
Red light district, confirmed.
No, nothing
No?
like that.
What?
No?
I mean, keep in mind this game is, I think it's ESRB, PG3 and USK 0, so it's like it's supposed to be for everyone age rating wise, which means that you're not going to see anything too adult themed.
Modders, help us.
Modders can do whatever they want, or not whatever they want, but a lot more. Than that. I guess that's why you have the online experiences can't be rated at the start of a lot of
yes.
games, because you know
To protect
we
yourself.
can't really guarantee that people don't make penis sparks, because they make penis sparks.
People make penis everything.
Dildo square.
The
Love
dildo
it.
square.
Have you heard about the expression TTP, or time to penis?
Time to penis.
No,
It's-
but I want to.
It's a game developer expression, or at least something we use at Paradox, but I think it's kind of common, where it's that, you know, when you show a game to consumers, what is the TTP? Like, how long does it take before someone creates a penis in the game somehow?
This should have been like a day. The Great Penis Skyscraper, the Leaning Tower of Penis. I mean, there's a bunch of them we could do. I'm not going to go that far on that.
You can do a lot of penis things in the game, but it's often surprisingly short. I can say that much.
Got a
Oh,
dig?
that's just hurtful.
Got a dig. Now I'm upset.
Crush
Anyways,
his whole
guys,
heart.
you're right. It's getting late here.
Yep, that's
I
fine.
think I'm gonna actually. I left my dinner halfway through ish, so I think I'm gonna do like a second dig at it now, and it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be like deliciously cold. I actually realized that these nachos with cheese on them are
Gonna be soggy.
they don't look very tempting right now.
You could have ate it. This is sometimes called food coil, so you know.
It would
It's
probably
okay.
have been a bit annoying listening to me
Oh.
munching.
Oh no, they're
nachos.
used to it.
Yeah, they're used to it.
Oh, really? You guys are horrible for your for your viewers.
It's an experience.
It's experience.
So we tell each other. Anyway.
Yeah.
But John, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you very
Really
much.
Thank you
bud.
for having
appreciate
me.
it.
Sorry for being late again.
Not a problem. That's just a free expansion. Don't worry about it.
No, it's all right.
I think that says a lot about my attention span, that I read until I read a number, and then I noted that as kind of the time we were going.
Community manager, everybody. Don't write any
I don't
numbers.
think I finished the sentence.
Don't write any numbers in your posts. Save those
No,
to the
that's-
end.
That is not my strong side.
Write out the numbers.
Write out
Spell
the
it
numbers. Spell it
But
out.
you can find John on Twitter at totallymoo1l, and you can find City Skylines on Twitter at cities_PDX. You can find us at Dreamcoiltv and at Dariath and at
Brian
Brian
Rotsu.
Batsu. Yeah, it's all in the below.
Oh, yeah.
But hopefully we can have you back sometime. Never know, because we play a whole lot of Paradox
Would be
games.
lovely.
Yeah, maybe
You
after.
can, invite
maybe
me
after
for
dark.
Dota.
Yeah, we can play some Dota together if you want.
And I'll have a horrible lag. I really hate playing in the States or to the States.
Well, that's okay. I can go to Europe. We can go to
No,
Russian
'cause
server.
then you're going to be really sad. No, not to a Russian server. Oh, dear God.
I'll get your Steam name later. We'll play some Dota. Actually, I'm thinking about picking up the Rick and Morty announcer pack that came out.
I am too.
Oh, I'm staring at it.
It looked amazing.
Oh, gee, Rick. It's great.
I liked the. Oh damn it! It was the triple kill one, and the end was amazing too.
Yeah,
Shit,
I don't think it's the last you've seen of John.
Yeah.
Play Dota together. It'd be great.
All right, you guys have a nice evening.
All right, take care.
You too, John. Thank you very much.
Again.
Cheers.
You're the best. So, everybody, that was John.
It was John.